Oh, hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Let's Play Art of Rally. So last video we finished with the Finland rally races of 1994 and we ended up on, I believe it was second place, which was surprisingly amazing. I did not expect for us to have ended up in such a good, with such a good score, but apparently we did, and I'm really thankful for that. So now we moved on to the next country in 1994, which is Sardinia. And over here we have some significant rallies that we have to race in. And this is the first stage of those. So let's try not to squander the nice score that we set up in Finland. Like in Finland we finished on second place. Maybe here in Sardinia we might finish in third or fourth place, so that we don't completely botch our score overall for 1994. God damn, this car has some steering issues, I will say that much. It's so difficult to steer for whatever reason. The controls feel very delayed. Also, why do these houses not have a roof? Like, you'd think a rooftop is a very important part of a house, especially considering that without one, rain would just come through your would land in the interior of your house, which is probably not something that you want. I guess they didn't have the time to finish modeling the houses in this game. Like, this game has sometimes has some very funny shortcomings that you would not normally expect in a video game that looks this polished. But, well, I don't know, maybe that's an intentional design choice and that's supposed to make the houses look dilapidated and old. Maybe that's the intention behind that, I don't fucking know. Over here. And there we go. So this time around we ended up on 4th place, which is quite nice. I'm very fond of 4th place. I would like for this to continue in this manner, preferably for as long as possible. Porto maga, okay. Oh, are these... this is quite nice. So that's like a plantation in the background. Yeah, I will admit that this game is fucking gorgeous. I've said this a million times up until now, and I'll say it a million times again. Like, this game just looks amazing. And I don't think they work that hard on it. Like, realistically, making these polygonal 3D models isn't that difficult for a 3D artist. I think a lot of 3D artists could reproduce the models in this game quite easily. They don't look like they have an amazing amount of polish and detail to them. But it's the fact that they managed to combine all of these simplistic polygon models into the levels that they did. And they managed to make a cohesive racing experience in Unity is what sets these developers apart. Like, make no mistake, a lot of the puzzle pieces that come, or not the puzzle pieces, but a lot of the Lego pieces that what the fuck is going on? What the fuck just happened? Like, a lot of the Lego pieces that come together into making this game are very rough around the edges, and they're very easy to reproduce by professionals if they had to copy them. But it's the fact that the entire experience is made by assembling all of them into an entire whole, which is a cohesive and pleasant in nature, that makes this game so wonderful. Like, this just proves that you don't need to make incredible amounts of detail or incredible assets in order to make a good game. Like sometimes even the most simplistic of assets, when put together under one single vision, can be assembled into making something that's decent. And this game is, I believe this game is the very the textbook of definition of the word decent. Like, it's not overly amazing, it's by no means a AAA title. This would not even compete with a Need for Speed title, honestly, given its rudimentary graphics, for lack of a better word. But with that said, like, this is more than decent enough in my opinion. Like, you don't need a Need for Speed in order to have a racing game. This game proves that you can work with even the most rudimentary of elements in order to make a decent racing game. And I appreciate that. Like, I always like video games that push the boundaries of what you can do with minimal effort, and especially with minimal resources into their making. All you need is a clever director to know exactly how to assemble all the different pieces together into a cohesive vision, and then you'll have a brilliant game. Or brilliant is a bit of a stretch of a word, but at the very least a decent game. And make no mistake, this is a decent game. I think I bought this for 15 euros or something, and 15 euros for this game is more than enough. Like, it's a good deal in my opinion. Hell, I think this game would have been a good deal even at 20 or even 40 euros. Not 60, like, this is not a AAA title by any means, but at 40 euros I think you can justify the price, given the amount of relaxation you can have by driving through the races in this game. Okay, so we're almost done with the current race, and I think we will have to partake in another race for this video, because I don't think we are at the terminal mark yet, which is a good sign. That means that we did quite well. Like, we finished the rallies quite quickly, which means that we probably acquired some nice scores. Like, the faster you finish a rally race, the better your score will be, obviously. Like, that's the entire point of a rally in the first place. Excellent. So this time we ended on 5th place. Again, this is quite nice. Like, this was a longer than usual rally race, but we still managed quite well at it. So now we're playing again in San Benedetto. I think we can squeeze in this third race in this video as well, so let's try to do that. Usually the rule for this game is to have 2 consecutive races in one video, but I will make an exception for this video and include 3, because we're just not quite there at the time wise when it comes to length, and I want my video to at the very least hit the 10-minute mark. If they don't hit the 10-minute mark, that means that we are kinda screwed. I don't always manage to do that, but I try to make that as a rule of thumb whenever possible. Like, I try to follow that rule whenever I can. Okay, let's begin. First, let's do repairs on our car, which in this case means just dusting the dirt off of it, and I guess painting it once again, adding a fresh layer of paint on top of it. That sounds about right. I've never really came to appreciate the rudimentary 3D models, which are so polygonal up until this game. I've always made the case that polygons, especially when they're when they have so few, or 3D models when they have so few polygons in them, just look lazy and unpleasant. Like they look too computery and low performance computery. But I mean, like they're the equivalent of having rectangles on a computer screen rather than circles. Like that's just lazy. With circles, the computer has to invest a lot of processing power to draw the circle, because there's always the rounded parts of the circle that the computer always has to reproduce, and you know, that requires some processing power. Whereas with a rectangle, it's just drawing a couple of lines and filling in the interior with a specific color. Like that's very fast for the CPU to do. Like that doesn't require that much hardware. And with these 3D models, which are very few in the number of polygons that they contain, that this game is using, I would have said that the game looks very lazy. But now that I look at it in game, I can definitely say that in practice it actually has a stunningly refreshing look compared to some other games that I've seen up until now. Like it's no Need for Speed, but it's still a very pleasant to look at game. You don't need hyper realistic graphics in order to have a racing game. Sometimes just having a bunch of polygons plastered on a landscape is more than enough, and this game just proves that. Okay, we're almost done. There we go. So 2 minutes and 53 seconds. This time around we were on 6th place, which is far worse than I would have expected, but you know, 6th place out of 10 is still not that bad. It's below average, but I think it's decent enough. Given that we've been having only, like, we've been on 4th and 5th place up until now, I think having 6th place is not that bad, honestly. It's not something I could live with if I was only on 6th place, but up until this point I think this is fine. Especially with the nice track record that we set for ourselves up until now. So anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to get in touch with me, I have a Mastodon account as well as a Matrix room that you can join, details of which you can find in the description of this video. And in the meantime, see you next time.